Good morning, everybody. What's going on? Give me a moment. I'm going to share the stream to everybody, and then I'll be right with you guys. All right. Good morning, everybody. What is going on? Oh, waking up here. Transition phase. It went from being 90s to like 50s. So now I went from the fan and the AC on to now heat. So now I don't know if I'm too hot or too cold right now. So in the middle of this, I might have to go turn on the heat. So bear with me. All right, guys. So I'm going to do the pre-market here for you guys, and then we'll go into the market, kind of try to clear up some of these drawings for you and get right into it. So you can see the market may be trying to break out a little bit here. You can see kind of this cup and handle pattern right over here. All right, cup and this handle needs to break out above that 2740s area. Kind of popped up there earlier today. We'll see if it's going to continue. If it gets above that 2740-ish area, then look for 2790-ish right up over here as your next level of resistance. So you can see it's kind of a descending triangle. Price broke out. It's been trading sideways. And now let's see. Maybe it's going to continue up. Got to watch and see. All right, so again, if you're watching us on YouTube, we have the chat feature turned off on this because over here is our trade rooms and all that good stuff. We're only $10 a month. Come join us if you haven't already. All right, so let's get into the watch list, ones from the watch list, and then I'll take a look at trade ideas. Not much volume here this morning, so not sure how I feel about that one. Nothing going on this one either. SESN. So let's see. This one kind of popped up pre-market. Now it's kind of below. Let me see. High pre-market 265. So it's one to watch peripherally. I'm not going to put it on the primary one. I'm going to watch right at the open, but it's definitely got some volume. So we'll see if it can go and get above that 265-ish area for some potential continuation. So I'll put that one to the side. SESN. Doesn't mean these other ones from the watch list can't move. It's just, sometimes they'll creep up a little bit later when the market opens, and sometimes they don't do much of anything, right? So, SE, no. Cron, that one's moving pre-market. So that one we're going to look at. Pre-market high is 730. So where is that? Right over here. That's where it is during the pre-market right here, right around 730. Some resistance right around just below $8. So this one has some room to potentially run. So I'm going to put that one on as one that I'm going to watch. Cron. Want to see if it can get above that 730 marker. Again, some resistance around $8. Meat. This is interesting. Meat has a kind of an intraday ascending triangle. Might be trying to break out over $4. A bit overextended. But there's a gap between $4.55 to like $5-ish range. This is one to peripherally watch. A tiny bit of volume pre-market, that's okay. It might be setting up to break over 4. So that's one that I'm going to peripherally watch. Let's see, RTTR. That one's still broaching right around $4 as well right now. Not doing much of anything right now. I don't like that one as much. And let's see about here. Here might be trying to move again. You see that bull pennant might be trying to break out above or break out of that bull pennant. You have that 2036 resistance, 1940s pre-market high. Peripherally we'll put it on, but so right now the one I'm looking at the most would be Cron, and then maybe Meat. Meat has a nice intraday kind of setup right over here. Again, you can kind of see this. You can kind of draw your trend line like this, right? So you got your trend line, higher lows being formed. You can see that ascending triangle might be trying to break out. So I like Cron and Meat. So far, Meat is the best kind of setup with the pattern that I like. So we will keep an eye on both of those. All right, so let's take a look at trade ideas. What's popping up over there? Let's look at GEVO. Penny stock. Man, look at this. This one has gone from 23 cents up to $5.60. Oh, that's a reverse. Looks like a reverse split. I don't know if I'm going to put that one on. Or a reverse split was from the first. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. There's nothing going on with it. Like, there's not really much volume going on with it, so I'm not sure how I feel about that one right now. We'll see what happens on trade ideas with it. TROV. So this one right here, I don't see any news on it. Looks like this had a reverse split too, huh? You can see pre-market high is around 298. Again, we'll keep an eye on that, see what happens. I think there's yeah, like I said, 2 reverse splits. So I don't know. I don't like either of those right now. All right, so let's look at OSPRW. OSPRW. Man, what a messy garbage chart this is, huh? Lots of volume. It is at, let's see here, all-time highs. It looks like pre-market. Really nothing going on with this chart. Nothing for news. Nothing's really pulling up on it, so I don't really like that one either. Let me look at VSAR. VSAR. Somebody in the trade room, Flyboy, saying it looks like it's a 5-cent ticker. Yes, it does. Good call. Doesn't mean they can't run up. Just know that it's a 5-cent spread. And you can see there's a major gap. And looks like it has some news. So 5-cent spread. This is one that's, who knows, may move. The pattern's a little bit messy right now, but it is up pre-market. Might be one to watch. Again, if you like those 5-cent spread stocks, I'm not a huge fan of them myself per se. But many of them can rip. So it's one that's probably going to get some action. So we'll keep an eye on that one. VSAR. Let's look at AETI maybe. Again, you can see a bunch of these right now. They're moving up pre-market, but nothing's really going on yet. This one might be trying to break $1. you know, so this one might be breaking, doing a reversal for potential break above $1. So this one might be setting up. You can see it's just kind of been in a falling wedge kind of pattern. You can see where's $1 right here, and you can see there's some resistance right around that 200 SMA, that black line, and pre-market highs at 105. So this one might be one that tries to creep up. So we'll keep an eye on that one. That is AETI. Let me see. Looks like it might have some news as well. So news, possibly a reversal from a downtrend, trying to break out maybe over $1. Look for that 200 SMA as resistance. So AETI is one to watch. Let's see, HPJ. Another one, huh? See, another one that's just really, it's moved up a tiny bit pre-market. It's not doing much of anything right now. Doesn't mean it can't. This one may be a 5-cent spread stock as well. Let's see. Yeah, that's another 5-cent spread. So you can see pre-market high is at $3.95. And that's right down over here, just below that 406, 407. See that 200 SMA? That's going to be resistance as well. So see if it can get above that. Again, another 5-cent spread stock. Just be realized, guys, when I say 5-cent spread stock, they don't, they're not, it's automatically a 5-cent difference between the bid and the ask. So if you're buying at the ask, you're really automatically down basically 5 cents until the stock moves up. So you have to make sure you trade those really good. So Vive, let's take a look at Vive. VIVE. It's another one right up here, just kind of not doing much yet. So right at that 320 pre-market, might be trying to move up, get above that 50 SMA. That's one to potentially watch a little bit as well. So I think right now I like AETI, meat. Kron is kind of rolling over right now. So I'll keep an eye on that one. So far AETI for maybe a break of $1, meat for a break of $4. I'm going to switch up my screen and do two charts for you guys so we can watch a couple at one time. Let's take a look at AETI. Oops, AETI. And what is that? Meat. So we'll keep a side-by-side chart. So right now it's kind of breaking above. It's over $1. This is a 5-minute candle right here. It might be setting up for reversal. Got to keep an eye on it. So pre-market high is 115 on it. And you can see right about 402 there for meat. All right, so now we wait. It's 9:29. Again, we go back to patterns, what I've been trying to teach you guys. Obviously, you want to look for the best setups, right? I like this pattern on meat. I'd like to see volume, have it get over $4 and push up. Obviously, if it breaks above that 4 or 402 range, you want to see it hold if it breaks out. Be aware on like this 5-minute pattern right here. So now it might be changing, right? It looked like it's forming a doji. See if it'll continue upwards. Get above a 115, and right over here above 402. AETI is touching that 115. Now see if it pulls back. It's just going. So you can switch to a 1 minute. So this is where you got to be very aware of when the market opens, guys. Obviously, you know, you could be really quick on the hotkeys, right? Or if you're waiting for patterns to play out, sometimes you just go and they move up really quickly and they pull right back really quickly. So that's why you got to find ideally the patterns to be safe. Right here you can see this may be bull flagging for a break above 125, or many times it'll just retest. So now it's moving up. It's all over trade ideas right now. So now next up, this 134-ish area, and that is the 200 SMA, right? Next up, I would think probably about $1.50. You can see it has a history of pumping and dumping. So, oh, there you go on meat. Meat is breaking above 402. And for meat, we want to see next up if it continues. Where's this gap? Right over here. At 438 to 455 range. There's a gap here, right up here. See if it'll continue. And then 450 is obviously right over here. Some resistance, whole and half dollars. You got to be aware of. All of our alerts are obviously triggering off right now. Not a bad sign. So when you see over here, guys, this is the ascending triangle, right? When price breaks above the top of an ascending triangle, when the retest happens, if there is one, you want to see it hold, right? So many times it'll go up, retest, form a bull flag before it goes up, or many times it'll break out and then it'll come back down and just dump. Looks like AETI got halted. So meat, you can see here, it's come down, retested the top of the ascending triangle. Now it's bouncing right above the 9 EMA. So watch if it's either going to bull flag and continue up, or whether there's going to be a failure over here. You can see resistance, this high of day at this 407 marker. Price is hovering right around this $4 marker as well. Now you want to see if you're bullish on it, the 9 EMA catch up on the 1 minute and push price up. You can see with AETI, that just went up really quickly and then it halted. And right now, meat is showing some weakness. So right now, you can see these moving averages are trading sideways. You ideally, if you're bullish on it, want to see it start to move up, curl up, and push price up. So watch right here with meat. Let me see how much volume that there is on it. Not a whole heck of a lot yet. But with meat, if you're going to watch it, you want to see if there's going to be a nice candle close here on the 1 minute. And then if the 9 will push it back up and continue and see if it'll get over that 407 marker. But right now it's got to get above that 402 marker again with a nice close above the 9 EMA. RGSE is all over trade ideas as well. Let's take a look at AETI for resistance again. This one got halted right now. So now at this point, keep an eye over here again on MEET. See if it's going to get above this area and continue. Has 407 resistance. See that? It just pops right up, comes back down. Right? So you can see real strong resistance at pretty much the top or right around the top of this ascending triangle. You can see right over here was the top right around 401. Pre-market high. Yeah, so right around here, it's kind of struggling to get above that area. So it needs to, again, the 9 EMA, if you're bullish on it, needs to catch up, curl up, and push it up, not do this. And AETI, again, if you're watching this, got halted right in the first 2 minutes. So this just really slammed right up. Got halted. So at this point, it's going to have a mind of its own. It could either pump up or it could just completely come down and dump. So again, this is why if you're new, you know, are you going to, it's only 6 minutes into the market. Are you going to be a hotkey, you know, person? So right here, if you're a big fan of hotkeys, you know, some people would have just gotten in at the break above this 1 minute candle and either sold at the top or watch what happens over here. So you could have just got in, boom, right above here, use the candle close right here. That's still, you know, it's about 25 cent. Here we go. It's back up again. Bull flagging. It's going up. So hotkeys, you got to be quick, right? You could have gotten in at the break above this 1 minute candle here. And then obviously either sold up in here or watch right now when it opens back up right here from the halt. When you see this, you could say, okay, indecision, I'm going to sell, or you can wait. You know, if you got an entry down here, you could, you know, use this 9 EMA as your guide as a close. Gets a little bit riskier when you get out in these areas when price is overextended buying. So you have to be quick, right? And meat is dumping. So meat could not hold above the top of that ascending triangle. Support and resistance, guys. That's why it's so incredibly important. Let's take a look at some other ones that are popping up on trade ideas. BKYI. So BKYI. That one just took right off. You can see kind of a tweezer tops here on a 1 minute. See if it's going to pull back in reverse or if it's going to continue up. Let's take a look at the 5 minute. You have a big 5 minute candle here. So many times you'll get an indecision candle for either a potential reversal or you might have it kind of stay a little bit, get another break up. But, you know, be aware of this right over here. Big 5 minute candlestick from 154 down to $1. So keep an eye on that for pattern. And you can see tweezer tops. Tweezer tops shows a sign of a potential reversal. May pull back before it goes up, or it may just completely dump. BKYI on the other hand. So keep an eye on this now. Watch if it's going to potentially bull flag again, or if it's going to pull right down. Again, very overextended. Could easily pull back to that 9. Wow, this one really pumped right up to that 3. So you guys see this here, this double top over here, a peak right over here at 372, and then right over here. So that was a double top, and then look at this, pumped all the way up. Now you have almost a triple top right over here. Goes, pumps right up, pulls right back down. Got to be fast, right? You're only 9 minutes into the market. And this thing went up from 250 up to 364. That quick. Nice job, Max. So watch right here. Watch if there's going to be a nice green candlestick close for a potential bull flag and continuation. I'll remove some of these lines down here. Now it needs to get above that 173 marker. I'll put a line right here at $2, just psychological support and resistance. So I'd be aware of $2 if $1.73 breaks. If $1.73 breaks, you want to see ideally that retest holds. Support then becomes resistance. There we go. It's breaking 173. Want to see it hold if it's going to continue. And then watch for $2. Support and resistance, guys. If you're new and you're watching this, again, you can see this is now support. $2 is going to be some resistance. And then many times price will trade in between over here. But if you're bullish on it, you obviously, if you want to see it continue up, it's got to get above that $2 marker, a very huge psychological resistance area. You can see this kind of this bull flag right over here. Actually, we can start drawing our trend line a little bit as well. If you want to do it maybe right here-ish. So now you can kind of start getting more of a trend. Sometimes it's not going to be perfect, right? So price moves up, comes back down right over here, right? You kind of see this bull flag right here. Goes up, pulls back, bull flag. Now it's going up. Now you got this trend line right here. Resistance around $2. See, it broke out right over here above the top of these two tweezer tops. Goes up, comes back down. Now it's either going to bull flag again and break out, maybe above $2, or it might not be able to get over 192 and then it fails. But now you can see your trend line over here. It's riding just above that 9 EMA. That's why the 9 EMA is a really good guide. There you go. Kind of a quick bull flag. Right here, needs to get up over that $2 marker. Let's go. Futures moving up. Love it. Gotta love it, David. So you have your first pullback right here in a 1 minute. Now you have a second one over here. Right here. See if it's going to go and break out over $2. You can see this right here. This trend line now is kind of like your support area. And then any times it'll go up, it'll come back down, retest before it either fails. Right here, it's retesting. It's either going to fail or it's going to continue upwards. No coincidence it's pulling back here, right? $2. Very important psychological support and resistance area. This maybe flag right here. Keep an eye on this right here. Right? See if it's going to go. This doji candle messes it up at the top of this wick. But if you're bullish on it, you want to see it continue up. So now it's coming down and retesting the tops of these two 1 minute candles right over here. So now you want to see it hold if you're bullish and break out. This 1 minute candle, be aware of it. Not liking the chart on BKYI right now. I'm just distracted by AETI. Let's take a look at RGSE again. So right now you can see it's kind of struggling right along this 173-ish marker right here, right? These two tops over here, it's coming down, one retest, two tests, three tests, and now it's starting to fail. That 90 EMA is very important. If not, if this fails, this can turn into a head and shoulders. You could see a left shoulder over here, a head, and it might bounce up to form a right shoulder. This right here is kind of forming an FU pattern or a head and shoulders one as well. You can see a head. Now you kind of have a left shoulder over here. You could consider that a right shoulder right now or see if it's going to bounce up again. But you can see right here, resistance right here before it can get up to high of day. So head, left shoulder. Now see if it can get above 134 and can continue upwards. But find these patterns, right? Right here, showing weakness. It's failing the 9 EMA. It's not looking so hot. And you can see price broke the trend line over here. And now it's failing the top of those tweezer tops. So now we can just kind of remove some of these lines just to show you guys. Sorry guys, I had to sneeze. So right over here, let's do this. So again, just to show you guys some technical analysis, you have some high of day. You have a high of day right over here. There's your head. There's your left shoulder right here. Those two peaks over here. And now watch for a potential bounce, right? If you're bullish on it, you want to see it break above this left shoulder and continue. Right now it's showing lots of weakness. So many times you can see here a head and a left shoulder. Watch what happens. You can see right here, again, this trend line. When you draw the trend line, you can see price is riding along it. Broke down over here. So now if it breaks above, needs to get above that left shoulder. And then obviously above that 197 area. It's a little bit challenging right now. Right here, again, head, left shoulder. You had a trend line we could have drawn right over, kind of like right in here a little bit, right? Sometimes you're not going to get them perfectly. So right here, price starts to break the trend line over here. Right? So many times you can use that 9 EMA. That's why we really like the 9 EMA as a guide. Sometimes the trend line will give you an earlier warning. So you can see when it starts breaking this trend line up over here, it was actually further away than a 9 EMA. So you could have potentially caught it out over here. Sometimes you're going to sell too early or get out or shook out. That happens. Again, trades go against people all of the time. Don't, freak out over that. Again, even the best traders in the world still fail 30 to 45% of the time, 35, 40% of the time. So you can see my blue line is the 9 EMA. You can see my trend line was a little bit higher. So you could saw more of the break up here. But if you wanted to wait, you could have saw it down over here. So on this one, what you would have done, you would have had one trade on it, really. If you saw it pull back right over here, right here, going back to that bull flag that we're talking about. So there's a bull flag on the 1 minute right over here. Pull back. You could have gotten in at the break of, see this red doji candle or spinning top candle? You could have gotten in at the break of that, above that candle, which would have been about 161. This candle here, using a close below that as your stop. So 160 area down to 147, that's a 13-cent stop. Not bad for risk management, right? That's why newbies, you don't buy out here because it's overextended, or these big, huge candles over here. The risk management is much more difficult. You buy in these smaller candles near support. You could have gotten in at the break of that this small red candle over here, a close below that as your stop, and then obviously up here, consider taking your profits, right? So if it broke above that 160.61, you can see it went up, pulled back here. Now this kind of faked you out a little bit, like was this going to bull flag? And then you had, so this doji candle here, and then this one right here was your big warning sign. So even if you got out down over here, if you didn't sell up here, you know, you could see, what is that, 161 up to 197, 36 cent trade. But if you were waiting or anticipating a break above $2 and you started to see over in here and you sold, you know, you still would have, if you got out at 177 or so from 161, you still made 16 cents. You gave back about 20 cents, but so that's the risk of trading, right? Do you want to obviously hold this, right? You want to hold it and see it break above $2 and go parabolic. But right here, you only had one move. This one kind of shook you out with this doji candle here, and then it kind of gave back its it just kind of just starting to dump, right? So this is where you can't beat yourself up if you take your profits right over here. So if you had this bull flag here, you started to see this, you took some profits right over here. If it broke above and went parabolic over $2, then it happens, right? You have to accept that. You still would have made, you know, about 30 cents or so, 30 something cents. So at this point, when you start seeing these like this is where you want to then take your charts. We're looking at 1 minute right now. Now move it maybe down to a 5 minute and see how the patterns look on a 5 minute, right? So it's a bit messy right now. You can see over here on a 5 minute as well, right? You got to kind of watch these patterns form. So again, I'm a very big proponent of patterns. Again, looking for breakouts or breakdowns on daily charts, looking for patterns, and then obviously finding a good intraday setup, ideally on a 5 minute chart, and then looking for your entries on a 1 minute, and then determining obviously your risk management when you're going to take profits. You can see here, what is this? 197 is the high of day for AETI. And RGSE is 136. So this right here, if you guys see this, right over here, FU pattern, right? FU pattern is what it sounds like, right? Some of you guys may be at work or with your families, so I'm not going to say it. You could just assume what FU means, otherwise known as kind of like a head and shoulders. Is FU means exactly what it means. Goes up, pumps back down. Pumps up and then drops, right? And you can see on a 5 minute, there's a head, here's a left shoulder, here is a right shoulder, right? Head, left shoulder, right shoulder. Usually the right shoulder is less than the left shoulder. And then if you had your trend line, let's go over here, and your trend line was drawn up like that, pretty close to it. Right, now you transition over to the 5 minute. And as you can see, 1, 2, 3 candles broke the trend line. Boom. Here you go. You guys seeing this? So 3 5 minute candles, forms a high. This one forms a new high, comes back down, tries to retest over on this one, fails, head and shoulders. And you can see it broke the trend line right over here. Now keep an eye on this one. AETI might not be over yet. Again, still very overextended. Did it just halt again? Looks like ATI may have just halted. So on the 5 minute, the pattern's still very overextended, right? So now you can see this is where it might be a little bit difficult, you know, to trade it because it is overextended, right? And the pattern's not the greatest. So that's where you would zoom in on a 1 minute and see, okay, right here, now we can draw a new trend line, right? So the trend line before was up over in here. Now we can kind of do it like this. right? Kind of connect a new trend line like this. So price came down, bounced right above the 20 EMA. So it failed VWAP, those green dots right over here. The blue line's my 9 EMA. The red line's my 20 EMA. Comes down here, you can see this hammer candle right here on the 1 minute. You could have, if you wanted right here, taken a position above that 1 minute candle right around 168, using a close below that as your stop. Or you could have waited for this one to close, right? So if you want to be a little bit safer, maybe this one right here, and gotten in on this candle right over here for an anticipation of a break of the high of day, using a close below the 9 EMA if you wanted as your stop. Let me see if I can pull up another one right now for you guys. This one is halted AETI. So you guys seeing these patterns and trend lines? Again, when you have something earlier, you know, you can see that it was up like this, right up over in here. So as you can see, it's still telling you the same exact thing. If I remove this line, that this is resistance right up over here. It has to get above that $2. So many times like this, you might see price go and really break out, or it might reject over here quickly. But then you have this whole space right here where price can kind of go up and down as well. And maybe this will form an ascending triangle, right? For a potential break. So that could get choppy up and down in here as well. So you got to watch and see these patterns and see what happens. Again, if you're watching on YouTube and you haven't joined us yet, we have a few trading rooms we're talking on here. Here's our day trade room. And then we have our swing trade room, futures room over here. We're only $10 a month. You can subscribe over here. Let's pull up another chart over here. So this is one, again, the FU pattern or the pump and dump. Again, just to show you guys, that's the 5-minute chart. Head, left shoulder, right shoulder, broke the trend line right here. AVXL. So high of day for AVXL is at 325. Bit overextended on the 5-minute. Let's look at the daily. So you can see that 332, that 200 SMA, that black line is going to be some resistance. And then it could go up from there. It's got to get above that line though. Man, I have so many drawings. So we're at it right now. So you can see some resistance right at that 200 SMA. Very overextended. Newbies, this is where we try to tell you guys you don't buy out in these areas. If you missed it down here, your entry, you're going to have to wait for a pullback. You can see AETI right below high of day right now. It's either going to break above or double top and pull back down. There it goes at $2. Want to see it continue above. Retest right now at right below $2. New high of day is 202. Tweezer tops, right? Tweezer top over here for a reversal down. Tweezer top over here, right back down to the 9 EMA. That's why it's important, right? When the stock breaks above, you want to see it continue and hold. Doesn't mean this is over with. Doesn't mean it won't continue. Right here, you can still see the trend line, but broke right above and pulled right back down. Right here, AVXL is just going crazy, parabolic right now. Let's take a look at the 1-minute chart. Yeah, I'll show you guys how to trade that one in a second, or how you would have traded it in a moment. Now it's just kind of pulling back right now. I'll show you guys how to trade AVXL. Gotta love the scanners. Trade Ideas finds everything. They are pretty much never wrong, or that I've seen. Did AETI just halt again? Now, or AETI just halted, I think, on the way down. Yeah. So this is why you got to be quick, guys, right? Very, very, very quick. Hold on, I got to sneeze again. Hold on one second. False alarm. I couldn't sneeze. I want to let these play out, guys. I'm going to show you how you would have and how you would trade these. They're just a little bit crazy right now. Yeah, I think AETI is halted on the way down now. So on AETI, this is why we tell people don't get too greedy, right? You're going to miss sometimes. You're going to miss holding it for the gigantic move, but don't, again, 10, 15, 20 cents, great. If you can make 30 cents or more, great. We all want the dollar movers, but sometimes they go against you if you don't take your profits. So right over here, as I was showing you guys earlier, there was a bull flag pull back right here. Moves up, pulls back. You could have gotten in at the break above that red candle right here with a candle close below this one as your stop, or maybe use the 9 EMA, a close below that as your exit. So right over here, 159. So let's see, you would have gotten in at, say, 160, 161. These were warning signs to sell right here, those two red doji candles. Now, you could have said, well, that's a bull flag below the $2. This one, yeah, potentially, but this one was a little bit scarier over here. So if you could have gotten shook out, let's say if you got in at 162 or 61, and you started selling somewhere over in here, 175 or 6, it's still a 15-cent move, right? You could have sold right below $2, knowing $2 was going to be resistance, so right around 195 or so, that would have been a 30 cents, scalp. That's a great scalp. So if you saw this bull flag and you're like, I'm going to sell before $2, which a lot of people do, you can see right here, there was that indecision right over here. You would have made 30 cents on that trade, and then now it's pulling back, and now the pattern's breaking. If you miss this move right over here, then this candle right over in here, let's remove this. This would have been the potential candle to get in on above. Let's remove this one, this one. Right above, actually this one right here, 172. So if you miss this move right here, you could have gotten in over here again and say 173, saying I'm going to sell right below $2 or so again. Now you could have said I'm going to hold. So here's a couple things, right? So this is where you got to make your decision, right? You got in above over here, right? On this candle right over here, 173-ish. So 173 up to $2 or so. That's, close to a 30-cent gain, right? 25, 26, 27 cents. So you could have taken that again, but you could have said, well, I want to get in down over here and hold it for a break above 2 because this thing might go parabolic. Now, got to be careful because it smacked up, came right back down. So now you got to be like, what's going to happen here? Look at this. So let's let this play out and then we'll talk about it. I'll be right back. I got to get some more water. All right, so this is going to be a perfect one to keep an eye on. Let's let another minute candle or so form on this one, and then we'll go over to AVXL as well. So this may be, again, kind of a bull flag over here. It's a little bit, this high a day right over here is a little bit messy right here, that big candle wick. And it just AATI just halted again. So I want to show you guys this, but it keeps halting. So I want to show you guys. So you guys saw this over here, right? That bull flag. You could have taken your profits in here, made 30 something cents, or you could have gotten greedy and watched for it to pull back. Even if it pulled back over here and you know, using Dan's momentum trading strategy, that first candle closed below the 9 EMA, look to get out. This could have kind of faked you out over here, right? This one would have probably panicked you. So you could have gotten into this bull flag, made 30 cents or so. If you got out over here on this candle and you waited too long, you would have probably just made a couple cents. Now over here, like I said, if you got in on this candle over here, you could have made another 20 to 30 cents. But if you didn't sell up in here and you were anticipating a break above $2, look, it fell right back down and then it halted on the way down. So you could see this candle right here, right? So if you saw this one and you still held, you would have probably sold right over in here and maybe stopped out or broke even, right? But these can easily reverse and go up really quickly. You can see it's a low float stock. These things go up and they go down. So, you know, again, a 20 or 30, you know, close to 30 cent move over in here, close to, you know, 25, 30 cent move over in here. But again, a lot of people, they won't take that move and they give back those profits so quickly. Look, 1-2 minutes right over here, and then it can go easily against you. So that's where you got to determine, you know, are you going to take your profits along the way? You could, right here, you could have taken this bull flag right here, right up over in here, made you 30 cents, come back over here, waited again, made another 20 or 30 cents. Now you're making what, 50 or 60 cents on 2 trades, right? Total. You can always get back in, right? It's so easy to basically say, I want to get in, buy and hold and just let it ride out. But you got to be careful with these low floaters because they can go up and come right back down. It's halted again. I think it's halted on the way up from what it looks like. Yeah, they do, Jake, for sure. I just want to see it open up just so I can show you guys. So now over here, let's take a look at AVXL for the moment. Let's remove these drawings. AVXL, go to a daily chart. So this one hit Trade Ideas. Trade Ideas hits everything. Of course, $3 right here. So here's today's candle, this big green candle. Price broke above it over here at $3. And then you can see this 332. That 200 SMA was resistance, right? So back over here, you can see there was a, right here, first 5-minute candle, pull back and bounced right on the 9 EMA, right? You could have gotten in on a break above this candlestick right here, that 297, using a close below that as your stop, 5-cent candle. If you waited for a break of the high a day over here, you could have used $3 down to 287. That's not a bad risk management either, right? So you can see that kind of that bull flag right here breaks out. So now that's doing the 5-minute, right? 5-minute pattern, 10 minutes in, break of high a day, using a close below this as your stop. If you trade it on the 1 minute, now you can zoom in. You can see it was kind of not doing much of anything right over here. Breaks high a day right over here, pulls back, and you can see these candles right here. You could have gotten in at the break of one of these if you wanted, with a close below the 9 EMA as your stop. Bull flagged again. You can see there was a new high a day. Kind of now you have this ascending triangle-ish pattern. And then you could have drawn your trend line, right? You guys see how you can see there's a base here, 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 right? So now you can kind of have your trend line. And so right here, so again, if you got break above one of these candlesticks or over in here, if you broke high of day using, you know, a close below the 9 EMA as your stop, right? Above, so break above here, close below the 9 EMA. There was no closes below the 9 EMA until maybe right over here. That would have probably shook you out. But, you know, don't ignore these areas right here, right, to take profits. Look at this. Huge, right? You may have even taken profits over here, you know, when price is very overextended. So you can see kind of a break of a high of day over here. If you got in above this over here around $3, you know, to 325, that's 25 cents, right? So you could kind of take that 25-cent profit, wait for a pullback down over here. Now it's kind of has this bull flag, right? You guys see that bull flag? So now I have a bull flag here, and now you would have probably gotten in right over, you can see it's closing above the 9 right over here. Price then breaks out right over in here, so 320. Now you might consider obviously taking profit. If you didn't take it up here at from 320 to 348, that's a 28-cent move, right? But 320 all the way up to 370s right here, that's a 50-cent move. So you could have taken profits on that up here, waited for it to pull back again. This one then got a little bit messier right here. It's kind of a little bit trickier. So you could have gotten in on the break right over here. So it's a little bit, this one's really kind of pushed our angular down right over here, right? This one's a little bit more gradual. This one's kind of sharp drop. You could have potentially gotten in. This one you may have, you may have missed this one right here because it's got that red candlestick over here. So you got to be careful on that. So you may have waited for this and then it pulled back, and then if you didn't catch this one, you may have gotten in right over here on this smaller candlestick here, or kind of broke out a little bit from that 344 up to, you know, so this one had a good move right over here. This one would have been kind of risky on this red candle over here. You would have had to been quick. I would have probably waited, missed it because of this candle, and then you would have watched for this candle to form as this little pullback, because you want to use your stops on these smaller candles, right? Limit your risk rather than 348 down to 334. It's still 14 cents. Not too bad, but it's a little bit overextended. Pulls back over here. So then at this one, you could have gotten in at the break of this, above this candle on this candlestick here with a close below it, or a close below the 9 EMA as your stop. It breaks above, right? And then if you didn't sell at the top of this candle, like I said, 344 up to 367, that's another 23-cent move. It pulls back over here, so that would have probably shaken you out potentially right over here. You still would have made money. But as you can see, there's still no candle closed below the 9 EMA, so you could still technically be in this trade. I know these lines are messy, but you got to try to find these bull flags and these flat tops, right? So again, you want to find these types of patterns right here. You want to find the flags, right? This one's a bit messier. It's a little bit trickier to trade this one, like I said. This was easier to trade than this one. This got a little bit messy out here. So find your flags and then find your, like your ascending triangles, right? So you can see, or these pennants, right? You can kind of see like this. You guys see those that pennant, right? You want to find those flags and those pennants, because that's where it's easier to trade, because you can see those patterns more than obviously when you get something like this. It's just a lot trickier to trade. It gets messier. So as you can see on AETI, it hasn't recovered yet, right? So you can see here was your trend line, broke down, you would have got shook out. Now it's trading sideways. Well, no coincidence. When you remove these drawings, what do you guys see? I see a head. I see a left shoulder right here. And I see a right shoulder over in here. There's a head and shoulders. And right now, you can kind of draw your... There's your necklines, right? So, head, left shoulder, right shoulder. Now it's starting to fail part of this neckline. Next up will be this one right here. It's starting to fail that red line, that 20 EMA. And the 9 EMA starting to curl over. So there's your patterns. Got to watch now. Now, if you're bullish on it, it's got to get above that left shoulder and then above that high of day. And also the right shoulder, right? The right shoulder, if you were to take a short on this, right, you can short. It's tough shorting the right shoulders a lot because many times it'll bounce up a lot. But if you did take a short on a right shoulder, you would use a candle close above this right shoulder as your stop. Let me see. Freddie, new guy question here. When you guys are trading momentum and set your stop losses, is there a way to set up a stop loss if a candle closes below the 9 EMA to get out? Or are you guys watching it and as soon as you see a candle close with a 9 EMA, hey, that's when you sell? That's what I do. I don't know if you can set one automatically. I don't think you can for the 9 EMA. You can set it at a certain dollar. You can gauge the 9 EMA and then place your stop loss. So if you can see where your stop would be, you can put your stop in that way. But we always advocate placing the buy and sell buttons yourself, just because market makers, there's a whole thing that says they don't trigger your orders. Thinkorswim says they don't put those orders in the system, but even if they don't, market makers know where to go and trigger stop losses. That's why, again, many a times you'll get a bounce. Like, let's see if, for instance, right here, right? Look at AVXL, right? If you had your stop below the 9 EMA over here in the system, they triggered it right down and then propped it back up. And as you can see, there was no close below the 9 EMA here. So you could have gotten stopped out. They could have triggered your stop, but technically there was no close, right? You're welcome, Freddie. So that's why you got to be careful putting stop losses in the system, because these people aren't stupid. These market makers know. They know where people have their stops, and they're just going to go and just trigger them. Now, sometimes you have to, depending when you're working, but day trading, that's where you got to be. If you're day trading, I would highly put, we're just huge proponents of doing your own buying and selling, right? And putting your stops in. But if you can't, then maybe give yourself a little bit of a buffer. But as you can see, they dropped this one right between the 9 to the 20, and it didn't close below. I want to show you guys how these head and shoulders ones play out a little bit as well. So you guys see how now it's trading sideways on this right shoulder? That's where these head and shoulders, trading them on this right shoulder could be a bit challenging. So you can see it failed VWAP right over here. It didn't come back down to this candle, that 151. Now it got back above VWAP, but now these moving average lines are trading sideways. Still has to get above that 178. But even if it does get above that, let's say 180-ish area, it's got to contend with this left shoulder and then the head. So that's where you can see it on the 1 minute. Then let's take a look at a 5 minute and see what's happening. And it's a bit messy, right? It's a little bit messy. Still has the head and shoulders. AVXL, let's take a look at a 5 minute, see if it's doing anything. So now you can kind of, as a stock goes pretty crazy like this, it goes parabolic, comes back down, goes up, comes back down. Then you got to look for these patterns again. You can maybe say, okay, maybe I'll draw, right? Or kind of like, let's see if it's like, let's do this one. Let me remove this drawing. Sometimes you can't get them exact. You guys see that? Then it kind of has almost like a bullpen. See how quick that is? That's where, you know, gets a little bit hairy. So you can see right over here, this one formed maybe a quick bull flag. It's hard to draw that. The trend line's really good on it. But you can see kind of this triangle. It would have tough to trade. The risk management's not good on these bigger candles, but you may have possibly taken on at 362 down to 352. You have a 10-cent candle here. So you may have risked, hey, I'll get in at the break of this 5-minute candle with a close below this as my stop. Even though it is a bit overextended, you can see more of the patterns, right? So you can see there's a pullback here, but look, that 351 down to 330, still 20-something cents. You could use that one, right? These bigger ones, you want to be very careful on your risk management. But like a candle like this is why you want to switch between the 1 and the 5 a lot. And you saw this right here in the middle of this triangle. If you got in the break above that 362 with you using a close below this one as your stop. You guys seeing this where I'm talking about risk management? Risk management's incredibly important. If you trade on these big candlesticks, your risk management's going to suck because those candlesticks are huge. But if you can find smaller ones, that's going to help you on your risk management. Let's kind of go to the 1 minute on this. On the 1 minute, right here, you could have seen it pull back right over in here. So you can see right over in here, this could shake you out on a 1 minute, right? You could say, well, I might take a trade in over here, but you can see it's a little bit messy over in here, right? So sometimes it's a little bit cleaner to go to the 5 minute. So you could have ideally wanted to get on this candle for a break above, but if you missed it, you would have seen on a 5 minute a little bit, it's a little bit easier to see. And then look, 362 to 382. Look at how fast. Look at how fast that went up and down. All right. So this is where, again, many people can get greedy, right? You can see here, it breaks above, goes 362 to 382. You can have made 20 cents in 2 minutes. But if you didn't sell up here, it could have gone right here and you would have gone from 20 cents down to like 2 or 3 cents, right? This is where the difference between the 1 and the 5 minute. The 5 minute slows things down. The 1 minute kind of speeds it up. And you can see over here on AETI, it's broaching the top of the right shoulder at 180. Price needs to get above that. You can see right here, it's struggling. It's pulling right back down. These right shoulders get tricky. They can go on for a while, or they can just fail, or they can break out. And so you guys can see in that 1 minute, that choppiness, that messiness is getting caught up. You can see right here, 1, 2, 3. Now you have 4 5-minute candles kind of forming that right shoulder, right? Trading sideways. So when price, you can see on AVXL, when price breaks out of that triangle, many times it'll go up and it'll come back and retest, right? If it retests, you want to see it hold. And right now, price breaks out, breaks just above high of day, comes right back down. Let's take a look at the daily. Messy looking chart. Finding these patterns, guys, so incredibly important. We can't stress it enough that you have to know and watch and find patterns. And even if you find the patterns, they're not always going to go in your favor all the time. Many times patterns will fail. And these wicks, when you see wicks like these right here, these wicks cause lots of volatility, right? Let's go over to the 1 minute. See how those wicks on the 5 minute translate on a 1 minute? See how they get very messy and choppy right out in here? And then price, all of this over in here is contending with these wicks. Right up in here gets messy, right? So sometimes it's hard to get your patterns. So like you can see on a 1 minute, might be tougher to find these patterns. Got to find these little bull flags and these pullbacks, but that's why you want to slow it down sometimes, find a bigger overall pattern. And then again, look for your breakout right here on a 5 minute. If you're new, again, newbies, you don't trade these huge candles. See these candles, these 5 minute candles with these long candle wicks, you don't trade those. That's where you get burnt. But when I say you don't trade those, that's actually where all the newbies are getting screwed. So it's basically, they're buying because a stock like this, AVXL, is hitting trade ideas. So when a Trade Room or a guru or somebody is talking about how much they're making money on it, the guru is getting in down or over in here, right? And as they're getting in, their followers are getting in on the stock. It's hitting trade ideas. It's getting more and more and more. Meanwhile, the guru is probably getting in out somewhere over in here, maybe at a top of here, right? They're not holding forever. They're taking their profits. So now it's just all in here. This is where all the newbies are getting suckered, right? That's where they're all coming in. The pros are not buying out here. The newbies are. And most people fail as a trader. So the reason why, again, they're all buying out here. Gurus are selling in the areas that the newbies are buying. Pulls back, guru might get back in down over here. Meanwhile, the newbie that bought up here is freaking out. Now they're selling down here. They took a loss. Now it's going back up again. Guru is now the newbie's freaking out that they lost and they took a loss over here, so they're going to get back in. After the guru gets back in, is pumping everything back up over here. Now the guru's selling up here. The newbie gets suckered in again, losing their money. It's pulling back. See the cycle? The newbies are buying at the tops. The gurus are buying at the bottoms. That's why you want to buy at support, sell at resistance. Sell at resistance. Don't buy at resistance. Buy at support areas right here or these patterns, right? Sometimes you can still buy a stock when it's overextended, like right over here. It was overextended over here, but you could see like right over here, getting in at the break of that 5 minute candle, close below this one, take your profits. Now look, it's already retesting, right? Now it's coming down. Right, goes up, breaks out of that triangle, goes up, fails. Now it's coming back down. It's retesting the triangle, and now it's failing right now. Right here, remember what I showed you guys on this one, head and shoulders, head, left shoulder, and voila, right shoulder. Now it needs to get above and continue. I don't know about that, Jake. It's possible. I mean, AETI can rally, sure. It's got to get above these areas, right? Head, left shoulder, right shoulder needs to continue. But you can see a head, a left shoulder, a right shoulder. And then we can just draw, kind of even say that as your neckline, right? So now it's broaching, has to break above. Continue for a break above that 202. Again, guys, if you're new and you're watching us, we're trying to teach you guys all about these patterns and support and resistance. I could keep pulling up so many of these off of trade ideas, but I want you guys to learn, right? I don't want you just like, again, we're not a stock pumping service, so we're not trying to like pump up a stock, right? We're trying to teach you guys. So I want to slow this down. Each day, something happens, and we want you guys to learn from that. Right now, we're looking at some ones that have pumped up and then they become bearish, right? So I want to explain these things to you guys. I want you to see what's actually happening, because this is how trading works, and this is how it's so incredibly important to know and find these patterns and find these support and resistance levels and see where you get in, where you get out, where you get trapped. Right here, you can see, remember I showed you on this candle over here. Price is now, you can see, price breaks above this candle right over here, right? Breaks out, comes back down, retesting it now again, and now it's potentially failing. It may bounce, but this is where it gets choppy, right? This is why we tell people, take your profits, don't get too greedy. And we see a lot of people that ask all the time, hey, do you think the stock's going to run again? Hey, I just got in. I think it's going to break above this and that. And they're not looking at the patterns. They're not looking for the right setups. They're kind of hoping and praying that the stock's going to go up without looking, like, again, if somebody's like, well, hey, do you think AETI is going to run again? I mean, I don't know. Maybe it will, right? You don't guess. You can make educated decisions. But if I'm looking at it right now, I'm looking at, well, it's a head and shoulders. Could it run? For sure. But it's not looking great right now. AVXL, do you think it'll run again? I don't know. Maybe. You got to look at it, and it's not looking so hot right now, right? So just because that stock went up on the day doesn't mean it's going to continue to go up. Again, stocks go up, and then they come back down, especially these small caps, right? You got to be aware of, after 2 pullbacks, look for the sell-off. Sometimes it'll go 3 or 4 pullbacks, but you can see over here, there was a pullback kind of over in here, but you can say there was a pullback right here, pullback here. So there's 1, 2, 3 pullbacks. There's your sell-off. This one right here had one over here. And then, I mean, this wasn't great. So this one only had kind of one. Let's take a look at futures. By the way, that red spinning top, that's a warning sign, right? So this is kind of a warning sign over here. This is definitely more of a warning sign. So now you might have a curled shoulder. So futures, right here. Went up to 27.49 today. Look at the daily chart. No coincidence. It's in that kind of that resistance land now, but it broke above over in here, that 27.40-ish marker. So got to watch and see. But it's up, so that's a good thing. If you're bullish, that's a good sign. Patterns, guys. Patterns, patterns, patterns. ABAC is hitting trade ideas. Let me see that one. Oh, my charts are looking a little bit messy. I tried to do this split screen for you guys, but it's got this VWAP all caught in between, which is annoying to me. Let me maybe do this. There we go. That's better. So a little think or swim lesson for you guys. Let's see here. There we go. So it removed the lines. Just showed you guys a little think or swim lesson. Whenever you get your charts the way you like them, then you go up to here, this area in here where these triangles are, save grid as, save it. So that saves my grid, right? I got rid of the lines to make it a little bit easier. You'll see my VWAP now as the dotted green line or dotted green dots. Man, that is look at that messy chart. Ugh. Yeesh. Let's take a look at the 5 minute on it. So I hit trade ideas. Right here, you can see it was doing nothing. Pumps up. Kind of has your bull flag here. You could have gotten in at the break of this candlestick right here, that 248 with a close below this one as your stop. And now obviously, again, you got 5, not even 10 minutes before it starts pulling back. That's what happens. Stocks hit trade ideas, goes crazy. Gurus get in down here, ride it up, probably out probably sooner, but when they start seeing this, they get out, and then the newbies are getting trapped up in here. Remember this, newbies, if you're watching. Gurus are buying down here. You're getting trapped up here. And why are you getting trapped up here? Because you hear everybody saying, oh my God, look at ABAC. It's hitting trade ideas. And you're like, oh, whoa, I got to buy it. I got to buy it. And meanwhile, gurus are selling up here. Newbies are buying up here. You want to become a guru, you want to make money, you're buying down here and in the patterns, and you're selling out in these areas. You don't buy out here. And you can see right here, again, an AETI, head, left shoulder, right shoulder. And you can even kind of draw it down like this now. And maybe you can do it like that. Kind of neckline right there, right? So you have a head and shoulders. Now it also kind of looks like you can kind of draw it down like this. Kind of in this area here. Might be a bull pennant, right? So you guys see the pennant inside, and inside of that pennant is a head and shoulders. So now you got to follow these lines. These lines are support and resistance levels, right? It's all about support and resistance. Never buy blind. And over here, ABAC, now there is resistance. This whole area right here is going to be resistance, right? These wicks create lots of volatility. So it pulls back, breaks out, sellers come in, bears push it down. Now it gets messy. You can see AETI maybe trying to break out of this triangle. And what does it do? Let's do this. See that area here? Resistance. So price is still moving up here. It's still in that right shoulder formation. It hasn't broken above that left shoulder. Sometimes it'll just break up really quickly and it'll dump right back down. Patterns, patterns, patterns. Trying to show you guys something on this one, but it's so choppy. Now you could, if you're a hotkey fan and you want to do a 1 minute, you're really quick on hotkeys. It's not the greatest setup, but someone could have watched this candle here. I like to see more of a green candle, right? But obviously it's very risky out in here. But if you got, 306 down to 298, you could have gotten in really quickly on a scalp on a break above that 1 minute candle with a close below it as your stop, and saw 307 right up to 320. That's 13 cents. Or if you still held a little bit when it started pulling back right over in here, you could have made it for a quick scalp, right? So if you're a hotkey fan, you watch again for these levels when price moves down to the moving average lines. Again, gurus, they're buying, if they're trading this, on a break above this candlestick. And newbies, they're buying out here. And that's why they get burnt. They're buying way out in these areas. They're buying where the gurus are selling. This is where they're selling. Look at these wick, right? Selling, 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 selling. And newbies, you're getting trapped all up in here. Buy at support. Sell at resistance. Buy at support. I'm not saying to trade this one. It's a little bit choppy. But, buy near moving average lines. Not on a right shoulder either, but you get what I'm saying. You can see, look at this one right here. AETI still struggling. Right here. Still has the right shoulder. That right shoulder is still lower than that left shoulder. So you have this bull pennant, which is a potentially good sign. Price is trying to get out of it. But then you also have the head and shoulders pattern. You connect these lines to get your bull pennant, and you connect the lines right here to see the base of the head and shoulders. See, price break up. Now it's coming back down, retesting the pennant. Now, this one over here, you can kind of draw your lines again. Say, okay. Let's see here. You're not going to get them perfect all the time. Kinda, right? This is kind of a pennant or a symmetrical triangle. Price is choppy within that symmetrical triangle. If you're bullish on it, you want to see it break out. Chaz, again, if you're listening, when you're saying AETI will likely move over 2, is that a question mark or is that you believe that? If you believe that, there's nothing here telling me that it's absolutely going to break above 2. Can it break above 2? Sure, a stock can do anything it wants. Give it a few more minutes, guys, and then I'm going to wrap it up for you. And that's good. Like, so again, no criticism on my belief, but that's where you got to be careful, right? I can believe anything's going to do something. But you have to, again, it could easily go over $2 or it could easily fail. So you got to be careful of just, map out support resistance, get a decent entry if you believe on something, but our beliefs are many times incorrect. I don't know what AETI is going to do. Right now, you can see, look at all these spinning top candles showing indecision. So at this point, if it breaks above 2, hey, great. Or it could fail below 2. We have no clue. You can see over here, ABAC. It's failing now that triangle, right? That symmetrical triangle, price is falling out of it. Failing the moving average lines and now failing the triangle. You can see failing the 9 moving average line. 9 is moving downwards now. That's not a good sign. That's on the 1 minute. Let's take a look at the 5 minute. So now it may, you can sometimes change it up a little bit. Maybe you do the trend line down to here a little bit. So it could still hold, but that's where you got to change things up a little bit depending what, look at a 5 minute. It's got to pull back, right? The 5 minutes very overextended. Now at this point, what you'd want to see is, some smaller candlesticks form. Maybe it's going to form it still has that triangle pattern. See if it does a bull pennant like that, right? See if it bounces, get a smaller candlestick or so going on in here. And then maybe you risk a trade on it if the pattern forms. But it's got to pull back. You guys seeing how price is obeying these triangles and these lines? See that? So now maybe we could change it up a little bit. So now we would change this one and do, it'd be like that, right? Connecting these peaks right here. And price, as you can see, it's just, again, that head and shoulders is within this pennant or that triangular pattern, and it's hence why you see these small spinning top candles. See how you got to kind of adjust your lines. Sometimes they're not going to be perfect, but sometimes you have to adjust and readjust. And right here you can see as well. So it might be a bull pennant or it might fail, but price, you can see, trades around inside of these triangles a lot. You see that that red candle here, indecision over here. AETI is making a push to try to get to $2. We shall see. There we go. It's approaching the top of that left shoulder. Approaching high a day. Now you start watching on a stock like this. Now it's breaking the left shoulder. Is it going to do an ascending triangle and break out? Or is it just going to come up and just fake you out and come back down? As you can see, price in the 1 minute went up, right? See that? Right below high of day at that 202. Dojied. Now it's coming back down. No coincidence. See that? Gets messy in these ascending triangles now. So now it's either going to continue along here and form maybe an ascending triangle, or it's going to fail. And that's where you can still call that kind of like a head and shoulders. So many times the right shoulder will peak out really quickly, real quick, and come back down. Right there. All right, we'll let this play out for a couple more minutes. For you newbies, I'll tell you guys a little bit about what we're at, or who we are, what we're doing, all that good stuff, and we'll come back to this in a moment and see how it all wraps up. So if you are not a member yet of our community, you can come and join us. We are the Bullish Bears on Facebook. Right over here, come and join us. Very large community. Keep all the spammers, troll the garbage out. So keep our what was I going to say? Feel free to come and join us if you haven't already. Again, we have a really good community. Like and follow our fan page. That way you can stay in touch with our updates. When we post on Facebook, we have lots of members. So that's why, again, you know, many times people post in our group and they don't see when we post because we have so many members. That's a good problem to have. So come and join us if you haven't already. Guesses are good, Chaz, but money's better. Again, guys, no hate. We're just we want to teach you guys, again, really, this is what trading is like, right? We have our hunches, our guesses. It's great. We need to go on intuition many times, but it's super important to find your patterns, find your support and resistance, and also be able to accept the fact that nothing is 100% in the stock market. You can find your charts, your patterns, your graphs, all of that. You can think you're going to be absolutely right, but the best still fail, right? So that's where you have to be able to accept that risk, define that risk, and cut your losses if the trades go against you, because trades will go against you all of the time. Happens all the time, right? So again, if you haven't joined our trade rooms or our community yet, we have several different trade rooms. We have a day trade room, a swing trade room, a futures room. We have a hangout room. So about 3 trading rooms for you to really kind of get your feet wet, learn. Great place to learn and talk and practice with people, right? You know, people are in here, like I could see our trade rooms. People are talking our swing trade room, futures room now. Day trading room, a lot of the action happens in their day trade room, like during live market hours. You know, swing trade room, futures room, a little bit slower just because, futures room might be a little bit quicker overall. But, swing trading room, a lot of people are not getting in and out of swing trades all day long. So, but again, we have a few trading rooms for you guys to really learn from. So you can come and join us over there. Or we have our trade alerts. Again, make sure you read about our trade alerts. Some people... I can get myself in trouble. Sometimes I got to stop myself before I speak, or a lot of times I do. So read about our trade alerts, right? If you sign up for our community and you don't know how our alerts work, make sure you read about our alerts. Don't just sign up and buy something. We're not a stock pumping service. So if you're new, very simple. If you're new and you think we're going to call out trades to you, we're not, right? We're not going to tell you entries. We're not going to tell you exits, because we are not a stock pumping service. That is a stock pumping service overall, right? I mean, places that are calling out trades, when to get in, when to get out, they have a position already. It's simple, right? If we have a position, we're going to try to influence that position to make money. It makes sense, right? So we're going to show you support and resistance and teach you patterns, support, and resistance. And it looks like, let's see, is it going? I see some people are talking. There we go. So now 201's got a hold, 202 area. If you want to see it continue, kind of has an ascending triangle now. Now the pattern of the head and shoulders is broken. So your hunch was right so far, Jazz. That's good. So now you have kind of an ascending triangle-ish right here. So now, it looks like it just halted again. So if you held throughout all this, well, congratulations. That was this is where, again, that's where you manage your risk. If you were to take a trade on this, you get in down here using a close below the 9 EMA right here. You don't see, there is no close below the 9. Yeah. And this is where you can start finding the patterns, right? If you've been watching the progression of all this happening, you can see now the 5-minute gives you a nice look on the pattern. No problem, Chaz. Again, I wasn't trying to say you were wrong. I just want to tell you guys again, guesses and hunches and all of that stuff is a good thing, but most important is patterns, risk management, support, and resistance. This is, at this point right now, it's broke above that 201, 202 area. Now at this point, if you took a trade on this, $2 would be a very good stop, right? If price starts closing below that $2 area on the top of that kind of ascending triangle, then you want to be careful of that. All right, so, and then you can see on ABAC, it's failing, not looking so hot. So yeah, again, we're not a stock pumping service. Read about us over here. We're calling out support and resistance, and we will drill it in your head every single day until you make it as a trader, or until you say, these guys are annoying and I'm going to go somewhere else and pay them $200 a month and let them tell me when to get in and out of a trade. If that's what you want, plenty of people will take your money. I know of a very popular service that does options trades, and they charge $2.99 a month for options trades. I don't even know if they do day trading service, but you want to get options trades where they're calling out trades to you, $300 a month. If you want to pay it, there will be people that will love to take your money. Courses, thousands of dollars over here. Take them. Keep yourself busy for months. And as you can see right over here, when you click subscribe, we are $10 a month. We're giving away the world for $10 a month. Call us crazy, we probably are. Again, Trade Ideas, our favorite scanner. We love them. 15% discount. Sometimes Trade Ideas gives bigger discounts, so please just click on our link. Yes, we have a partnership with them. Again, anytime you buy something from our community and we have a partnership, they do kick back to us, and it helps us to keep our prices lower, right? Don't buy Trade Ideas just to buy it, but if you need to buy it and you want to buy it and you want to have their scanner, we appreciate it if you buy from us. If you get a different discount, we'll still get credit if Trade Ideas has a different discount code. So just click on our link. Trade Ideas tracks it, and down the road, if you buy with a different discount code, it helps our community out. Again, any of these products you buy from us, we keep the prices lower. Very simple. Market Club, another great scanner, great for more swing trading, options trading, at about half the cost of Trade Ideas. Benzinga, we have a partnership with them. We're trying to work out a better banner for you guys. We're going back and forth with them. Eventually, we're going to put Benzinga up here. They're really good as well. Awesome, JRH. I see your message. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. We do our best, guys. We're just trying to help you guys. Again, we aren't saying we're the best, because we're not. We do our best to help you guys, and we're all about trying to help you guys to become good traders. And the fact of the matter is, this is trading. Trading's hard, ups and downs, charts, patterns, graphs. Let's maybe give this one moment. I want to just see what the heck's going to happen with AETI real quick. Now watch it. This area right here, very important if it retests. Trade Ideas, AETI is hitting all over Trade Ideas. It's moving up. Chaz is the man or woman today. I don't know. Chaz, are you a man or woman? I can't tell with these names in our group. We'll let this one play out for a moment and see what happens. So now at this point, maybe forming a doji or a spinning top, which is a potential reversal down. Got to let the candle formation form. So at this point, is this going to be a bull flag that's going to hold and continue up over 215? Or is it going to fail right here? This is where it needs to break above 215 if you're bullish, and hold this level right here. Oh, male. Excellent. All right. So it might be breaking out, getting ready. Is this going to bull flag and break above 215? Man, I'm tired, guys. I got to take a nap. Almost nap time. Nap time, lunchtime, laundry. Might be doing like an ascending triangle wedge right here. Got to see if it's going to break above 215. It's getting close. There he goes, huh? There you go. Drop it like it's hot. And wouldn't be surprised if this thing halts down again. Patterns, right? There's your 5 minute. Here you go. And I got to show you guys this. What do you guys see up here when you zoom in? 2 equal tops. What are 2 equal tops? Tweezer tops. That's a bearish sign. Doesn't mean it won't continue. Now it's failing right here. It's kind of failing the 9. See if it can hold. Now it's caught in this channel right here. Definitely showing some weakness. So see that? Price breaks above resistance. Comes back down, retests support. Now it's failing support. I want to see this one play out now. Not looking great. Now it's bouncing up. I just want to see this thing either break out or break down just so I can show you guys. So right here, as you guys can see, price overextended, this spinning top, major warning sign. This one right here, major warning sign. Doesn't mean it can't go back up, but at this point it's not looking so hot. Stock breaks out above resistance, goes up, creates a new high, comes back down, retests support. Now it's struggling, and now it's in this channel right here. You have your trend line over here. So again, when a stock breaks resistance and it tests support, you want to see it hold. So if you were the one, a trader that got in down over in here and you were holding, right, and you didn't sell up in here, now you're kind of in a spot where you don't know, is this going to bull flag and go up, or is it going to fail? Got to watch the patterns, right? The 5-minute pattern showing weakness doesn't mean it can't hold, but at right now, these are very big warning signs, these two candles, tweezer tops. Actually, let me go back to that. Watch this line here. There's your trend line. Watch if it's going to go down and test that trend line again. All right? These lines, very important, guys. You can see support and resistance. Look at that. Comes right back down. What is it doing? Comes right down to those levels. You guys watching that? It's going down. I'm yelling timber. Not looking so hot. Right here. Testing the trend line, guys. I'm keeping going for you guys here. I want to watch this. I want to see this thing, what it's going to do. Yeah, not so hot. Not so hot, guys. Gotta watch it. And it's, you can see these trend lines right here, struggling, showing weakness. It's failing the 9 and the 20 up here. The 5 or the 9 on the 5. What it? The 5? No, the 9 EMA on the 5-minute trading sideways. Now you want to see if price is going to hold here or fail. Come on, drop. You guys see here, price again on the 9 in the EMA on the 5 minutes, right there, right? So now you have that indecision mode. Is it going to fail or is it going to pop back up? It failed the trend line over here. So now is price going to pop back up and break above it and can continue? See, it's kind of popping up. Indecision. So let's just give it another moment. Sorry for yawning. Popping up. What's it going to do? I know, I should have gotten coffee. Actually, I went to get my cold brew. True story. I go to good coffee shops. I hate, let me be careful what I say so the AI likes me. The popular coffee chains are not places that I like to attend and get my coffee from. I love Starbucks. I love Dunkin' Donuts. But I do not get my Office there, for those that know Pig Latin. I like to get my coffee from local good coffee shops. So I went last week and I buy my cold brew ahead of time in a growler. And I went there and it was a nice day out that day. And they were all out of cold brew. So then all of this week I have not had coffee. But I'm a huge kombucha fan. For anybody that likes kombucha or haven't tried it yet, kombucha is awesome. So I've been drinking kombucha in the morning, but I don't think it's giving me as much caffeine. So tomorrow I got to go and pick up. Hopefully they'll have enough kombucha. Starbucks. We love Starbucks. We love YouTube. We love Facebook. We love Google. What else do we love? Who else do we love? Everybody. Oh boy, the world that we live in. All right, I'm going to shut this down because this is going... Come on already. So you can see it's kind of still holding the 9 EMA. Look at the trend line. See, you guys see this? Regardless, I don't know what it's going to do right now. I don't want to sit here waiting forever. But you guys see these trend lines, horizontal, the support and resistance. Oh, there we go. Is it going to get a break above and get above 215? So now, again, might be doing a new top on an ascending triangle, right? Keep these areas Gotta love these ascending triangles, right? They get a little bit messy. Now you can do that. Oh, like that. So now extend the top, right? Trend lines, trend lines, trend lines. All right. I'm done. You guys have a wonderful day, and I'll talk to y'all later. Again, we're $10 a month. Come and join us. Catch you guys later.